When you're talking to people, go and talk about the books. What's the best book they like? What's the best author they like? Go pick their brain. Write that stuff down. Carry a notebook with you all the time. Write everything down. Because you know what? Computers are way cool, but they're slower than dog poo compared to a pen and ink and paper. You know, what's the best writing method? Still right here. No power required. No power required, and at no time did my hands ever leave my wrists. But so you can go out here, and at the bottom of this, you'll see at the bottom they put a little thing at the bottom of every page. So there's your web link. Write that down. Note to self, right? Go out here and get this the WWIT ebook info. Yes. Go out there because you can get any book digitally. So if you're learning code, cool. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, right? You still got to follow the rules. You know, you can't steal somebody else's crap and say, oh, look what I did. Now explain how it works. Uh-oh. Busted. But this stuff is really good. You got to get your authors. So we had a visitor show up to the IronYard just out of the blue that worked with Nick. And, man, he was throwing golden nuggets. He's working on this cool system. So, y'all engage. IronYard, woohoo, rocks. So, really, it's hard. It's not easy, but it's definitely worth it. It's worth the effort. It's worth the challenge. And so, go down there and check them out. We're down there every day, down by Shem Creek, 510 Mill Road. All right? But if you go down there, you walk in the room, there's going to be a room, one in the front over here doing Java. It's like 15, 20 people. And then the Ruby on Rails classes over on the left and the back. And we're there 8 hours a day for the next 3 months.
If you want to go visit them, a great time to do it would be next Tuesday. The WordPress user group is going to meet at IronYard next Tuesday. Right. So you get a bang for your buck. You get to learn WordPress, meet those people, and also get a chance to take a look at IronYard. It's probably 5:30 to 7:30 or something like that. I'm going to put it up on the Facebook page. Just haven't got around to it yet. But that'll be a perfect one. It's free snacks, free parking.
They do an Iron Pikes thing. If you want to go down and meet with the instructors at 4 o'clock on Friday, and if you go down Coleman and then look on the left after you go over the bridge for Shem Creek, on the left there's a little place called the Shelter, and that's kind of where they're doing they call it Iron Pints. I don't drink beer, and if I came home at night smelling like alcohol, my wife would be like, in school, huh? I'll kill you, right? So, yeah, definitely come check it out if you're interested. They do interview the people before they let them start. It's totally, I've been up till 2, 3 in the morning 3 times this week, you know. And the only other time is I had a migraine. I had to just decompress and disconnect and wind down.
So how many hours outside of class do you think you're spending?
What's that?
How many hours outside of class do you think you're working on this?
Easy 8 a day. Easy. Not even trying easy. He does training. The traffic is crap, but you know, I found that actually if I leave at 8, leaving from Somerville, if I eat, I get there in 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I was leaving at 7 and 7:30 in the morning. It was taking me almost an hour to get there, and I realized it was just a little if loop. I was just doing a little check. But so we teach, or he teaches, and I try to learn from 9 to noon, and then everybody breaks for lunch, and then we go and we do what he just taught, and then the next day he builds on what he taught from the first day, and so by the end of the week you're all these assignments, and you're like so. And everything has to be turned in. We're using GitHub already. I don't know if anyone's ever used GitHub. It's pretty cool.
On the 16th, the Digital Corridor is coming up here from 3:30 to 5:30, and they're going to do a free seminar on GitHub. So right now we have about 12 seats left. So if you want to get on there, and it's free, all you have to do is go to chscodecamp.com and go ahead and sign up. You'll get a chance to meet Carolyn and Chad and talk to them about what the Digital Corridor is doing, because there's really 2 paths for programming. You can either do what we're doing here and do digital corridor. Of course, then it takes 2 years. Or you can pay the $10,000 and do it in 3 months. So it all depends on your timeline.
So I did this literally, I did this before, I actually did this before we did it in class because we had some internet problems. And so if you haven't set up GitHub, it's free. If you're doing code, if you haven't set up Stack Overflow, do that because there's all kind of cool tricks and things that you can learn. So other than that, IronYard, yay, good plug. So if you guys have any questions, you're welcome to ask me, but scope it out. It's really cool. It's the fastest way to learn code, in my opinion. You got to talk to the people who are doing it. And these instructors, they teach it for 3 months. They take a 1 month break. They're working on their projects. And they're not talking about doing it or saying they're doing it. I mean, I walk in the back and we got an instructor assistant, Jake. He's super awesome, super smart. And he's going back and forth between the Java class and the Ruby class. And he's sitting there in the back while the instructors are doing stuff. He'll look at it, doing code, going back and forth on Hip Chat with them, and then putting stuff up. And I was kind of shoulder surfing, not intentionally, getting a cup of coffee. I'm like, what are you doing, Jake? But he's out there doing it. So really cool. Just immerse yourself in it. But if you don't have the resources to go to the IronYard, there's a lot of free stuff out there. It's just a matter of you getting up. Like everybody here, good job. You got up Saturday morning and you came out here. And one of the guys is like, oh, it's too early. This is actually good for me because it gets my butt out of bed. I'd probably lay there till 10 on a Saturday. But if I make a commitment to y'all to get my butt moving, right, Mr. Brady,
Yep.
Wayne, come on, own it, right? We have to get up early and get here, and it's a great thing for us, and it works out for you. I've had my own, for those of you who don't know me, I've had my own IT company since 1998, and I started my own IT company kind of just like this. I went and I got some equipment, and I talked to the boss, and I says, hey, I was fixing monitors, a little bit different. In the time, $300 to $400 monitor, people would pay $85 to have that thing fixed. And the rule of thumb is 30% of the value of something, someone will be willing to pay. So if your car is worth $10,000, all right, whether you want to admit it or not, if you had an outage of the engine or the transmission or I don't care what, you're going to be willing to spend up to 30% of the value of that. So if your transmission went out and you had to, not that you want to, but if you had to, you would spend $3,000 to fix your car. Show of hands, anybody who's done it? I've done it.
I need to do it.
I need to. I'm with, don't die, baby, come on, right? But that's the rule of thumb. Whether it's electronics or anything, that's the rule of thumb. So, like I said, I've been doing business for years and years. Anybody has any questions about what it is that my company does, separate from me doing iron rails, I'm going to learn. I went and told my staff, y'all got this? Because I'll be back in 3 months, I've actually met with 2 new clients this week. After class, I had to bail out. I went out and met with 2 new clients. I signed one of them. And one of them I hope to hear this week. So I'm still doing my work stuff. And that was the biggest thing, is that the guys at the IronYard are so awesomely flexible. We do the lab time in the morning from 9 to noon. And I had to leave because I had an appointment at 3. And it takes me an hour to get there. So I had to get out of there at 2 o'clock. So, it is, life is what it is. You deal with it. There is no perfect solution. You decide you want to do something, and you freaking go for it. So that's what it's about. You guys got to tell us what you did up there in Atlanta at that event. That